From the Middle is a founding member of Odd Pods Media. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to episode number 301 of From the Middle. We are three middle-class guys living in the middle of America in the middle chapters of our lives with points of view somewhere in the middle. Thank goodness we're back, thanks to a staggered start. Speaking of staggered starts, school is back. Those kindergartners thought they had some leg room, but turns out they didn't. This episode has lots of leg room if you're into movies and TV and some of the stuff that we're watching. If you're not, you should still listen, but we understand because we're going to talk a bunch of stuff that we've enjoyed over the last couple months. Check it out. We have a lot of fun in this episode.
Oh, for the love. Sorry, just clearing my Mountain Dew hole.
I got my phone hole cleaned today.
That's where you keep it? You're so cerebral and you're so developed and evolved.
From the Middle after dark over here.
Hey, what's up, guys? It was really cool just now, Midlers, seeing 66.66% of Kendall's kids on camera.
That's right.
2/3, you might say. They're back to school now, right?
They are. Yeah. This is their first full week.
Yeah, same
They
here.
went back Thursday last week.
Do you guys do the staggered start? Maybe our listeners aren't familiar with the staggered
Only for
start.
kindergarten. So
Okay.
Monday is teachers only. Tuesday is half the kindergarten, and they get the whole school. So it's not just that they get the kindergarten wing. So there's nobody else in the school except for half the kindergartners. And then same thing for Wednesday, the other half of the kindergartners. And then on Thursday, it's everybody.
Got it. Sherry and I were talking about this, and I guess that's started for our school, at least coming out of COVID. And so for a given classroom, it was 50% of the kids on the Wednesday or one day. The next day would be the other half. I'm big on percentages tonight.
You are.
And then the third consecutive day would be the total class, giving the teachers a chance to meet half of the classroom at a time and sort of a slow start. Then the following week would always be that first full week, which is what we're experiencing now. That's fun.
Yeah.
And Finley went to school, Dylan.
She did. First day done. Happy.
First day done.
We got 3 recesses today.
Nice.
She was pretty stoked. We do the stagger start too. Can you imagine? It feels like The Office when Jim is gone and Dwight builds Mega Desk and like has all that space. Do you think that's how the kids feel? They come back and then there's more kids and they're like, "Oh, I thought I was gonna have like some leg room here."
Yeah. So she did stagger start today. Am I getting that right?
Finley, the first and second graders don't stagger start.
They don't. Okay.
Kindergartners don't start that till like Thursday. They do like Thursday, Friday, the following Monday.
Oh, okay.
So it's just the kindergartners that do that. So yeah, she has a normal schedule.
Okay. Cool.
So I was, Sherry actually was talking to a neighbor, and with anything in life, sometimes you don't realize what you need to be grateful for until you hear a story about somebody who has to make drastic moves in order to make things happen. I'll explain. Our friends and neighbors, for the first, I think Sherry said like 6 or 8 weeks of summer, because they both work and the company they work for was fully remote. And then they did like 3 days a week. And now they're back to 5 days a week in office. So for the first 6 to 8 weeks of the summer, they send their kid to a camp. What camp? Any camp. Any camp. Back-to-back camps. For like the first 2/3 of summer. Just to like have somewhere for their kid to go during the days. And I know we, self-employed, or some of us are stay-at-home dads or can work from home. You kind of forget what other families have to do to get through summer.
Yeah, so that's one of those things, man. It's certainly nothing new, right? I mean, it's become the norm to have 2 working parents, and most I feel when they're little, like the daycare is your answer to that. But yeah, you're right. When you're like elementary school age and not old enough to stay at home by yourself yet, you've got those few years there where it's like they're too old for daycare. You're not leaving them home for 8 hours. So you've got to do something. I often think about single parents and like,
oh man,
because they're paying a daycare on one income, which isn't cheap. I mean, that's why I like quit my 9-to-5 job and stay home, was because like it was so expensive that it financially, especially when you're picky about it, almost washed.
Yeah,
to have me do that.
Yeah. This mom was telling Sherry, like, and I think one of them was like a whole state away. They're like, yeah, we just spent a whole span of time researching camps and consecutively scheduled her for them that were back-to-back weeks during the weekdays, all day, every day, states away, just so we had someplace to send her. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
I think it's good that we have
rough.
these reminders.
That'd be rough, man. I hope like people who are blessed enough to have like spry parents still around to help with grandkids. I hope you realize how lucky you are. Yeah.
That was another thing. I hit a neighbor's mailbox, different neighbor, with my truck, and
just because they had it coming.
Yeah, I left a note just because I wasn't paying attention. I left a note in the mailbox. It was like, "Hey, I live in the neighborhood. I totally just backed into your mailbox, took a little chunk out of the corner of the side panel. Here's my number. Let me know how you want to proceed. I'll gladly pay for a repair or whatever." Luckily, I didn't break the post off at the ground. That would have been a nightmare. I just took a little corner out. Anyway, he messaged back. He was very, very, very kind and generous. And he said he was in a situation where he's a grandparent. And he's like, I actually said, I'd love to come over and fix it with you and get to know you a little bit better. I mean, it's a good excuse to just hang out. And he's like, well, we got the grandkids every day in the summer. And that was another situation. I was like, oh, yeah, retirees who become de facto babysitters, daycare services for their own kids so that they can, I mean, it's good for them, right? It's grandkid time. But yeah, you just forget sometimes how you got to bob and weave and make things happen.
Even in that situation, like I think grandparents can love it, but also think I didn't necessarily want to be full-time childcare. Like 40 hours a week plus is a lot different than bringing the grandkids over, you know, a couple weekends a year or a night here or there for date night or whatever is way different than
for sure
primary care. So God bless those grandparents.
So yeah, I just felt it worth mentioning that, like, you know, I sometimes forget, and I'm very grateful. And shout out to all those parents making it happen, man, doing what you got to do. Like that's got to be rough. Bless you.
Word. Well, guys, we're back. This is 2 weeks in a row.
What?
We're doing it.
It's like old times.
Yeah, let's catch up. What's happened in the last week?
Man. Yeah, I mean, school back is a big one. I don't know. Do we want to? There's a few ways we can proceed here.
All right,
and because I know that, like, even if we were to just cover all of streaming and media, like we don't have enough in a half, probably a whole episode to go through all of it properly to where we can riff off of it. We certainly don't have enough to do just the second half. So is that something we want to jump into, or do we just want to kind of like pick away at that as we go? This is how we have our meetings, guys, while we're recording.
I love that we're just doing it. I love that we're just doing it live.
We're recording.
Yeah. Are we recording?
We're recording.
Okay. I was so glad. So if you listen to 300, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Go back, listen to some of the ones before that. But we didn't know if it was all being recorded when we were together in studio last week. And we were having so much fun being in the same room together with layered laughter and the soundboard. And like, it was just so fun. We had pushed we had made a mega desk in Kendall's office.
Yeah.
The two tables together because one of our cameras was down. So we needed to all be in the same shot. So we were close. We were vibing. And I was just like, man, if we lose this, I'm going to be so bummed. I was driving home going, I don't think there's any way to recreate the fun that we had tonight. It was really good.
Yeah, and we had snacks. So
we had snacks.
Always.
By the way, we have been down that road. Dylan and I, was it Dylan and I or Corey and I? Recording with someone else's podcast had us on, and we had that experience. For those who wonder, does this ever happen? And it happened. We got like 15, 20 minutes in, maybe even more, before the dude who was interviewing us was like, "Oh, guys, I am so sorry."
Was that the conspiracy theory one?
Yeah. We were all
and it was, so we had to then like go back and like, and this guy was like operating off of like scripted questions. And so like we had to like answer these questions that we just answered, but like make it seem natural. Like it was,
that was so fun.
Oh, what a riveting question. I've never thought about it from that angle before. Let me respond.
But to your question, Kendall, I think let's kind of get into it, because I think that some of it will probably dovetail into other real life things going on. So yeah, let's get into it. Dylan, you separated yours all out.
Yeah. How do you like that on the note? Does that work for you?
I put mine in one
big note.
Big note for a big man.
It feels like you were trying to hit a page minimum on a report in middle school without worrying about words.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what if I quadruple space this and size 16 font?
Yeah.
It's gonna be impressive.
Okay. Now I'm feeling very self-conscious about my size of text.
Well, I'm not.
So I can jump in. Is that what we're asking?
Let's go.
I feel like I feel like I can. Some of these things we had a long sabbatical. These things are pretty old, so it might just be like, I think I remember this one was pretty good. So,
I was asking my wife, like, and she mentioned something, the Dogman movie, and I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't think I watched that with you guys. No, you were there. It's like, oh, okay.
In the spring?
It was 4 weeks ago. It's not, yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay. So
how about this? Let's make this deal, since the list is so long. Don't force the issue. If you barely remember it and you're like, yeah, then maybe that will be the litmus test of, is it worth airtime? Not that that's ever stopped us.
I actually was thinking about this a couple days ago. I looked at the list and thought it almost might be more fun to just say, like, almost the gut reaction to some of these is like, I think you'll like it if something is. Why is it Zoom is doing a hand emoji? I didn't.
That's because you were doing the thing and you
gesticulate. Yeah. Okay. Corey, your camera is following you all over the place. If you're on YouTube, you're in for a visual treat.
Mine doesn't do any of those things.
All right, I'll start.
Let's see if it. Nope, doesn't.
Dylan still has a question. Okay.
I don't have a question. Kendall's hand is raised. All right, I'm gonna get into it. We're just playing with the emojis in Zoom now. So, Tumbledown on Prime. I'll just this was a while ago. It was good. If you're a Sudeikis fan, go watch it. If you're not a Jason Sudeikis fan, not at the top of your list. But it was enjoyable. I don't. If any of you guys have seen any of these, I think maybe Corey's seen a few. Feel free to jump in. Nonnas on Netflix with Vince Vaughn. That was very sweet. It was a lovely movie. If you're into Vince Vaughn shtick, it's based on a true story. Opens up a restaurant, hires a bunch of grandmas to come cook at the Italian restaurant. It's really, really nice. Corey, did you like that one?
Yep. Sherry and I watched that together. I think we talked about it so much that Chloe was interested in watching it, safe for a 15-year-old. Yeah, it's just a sweet, wholesome, really fun premise, too, for an actual restaurant. I believe it's still running in Jersey. So is that where it was? Jersey?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that premise. And they've expanded to... Because the premise is you want your grandmother's cooking. Everybody loves their grandmother's cooking. So if we can hire grandmothers. But now in the real life restaurant, they've hired international grandmothers too now. So they're branching away from strictly Italian, which is fun.
Nice. Yeah. Very enjoyable if you're on Netflix. The Four Seasons on Netflix. Huge cast. Lots of great folks in this one. Really, really good. Not for the children, if I recall correctly. Probably not for your teenagers and younger kids, but really, really good. One of my favorite scenes. I don't think this is giving anything away. We've talked about
Go
this.
ahead.
It's been out for months now. People can go watch it. Steve Carell is working through some conflict with his daughter, and they're finally coming to a place in the show where they can talk about a little bit. And he's describing a bit of his past and makes a remark about his own relationship with his father. And the daughter says something to the effect of like, "Oh my gosh, that's so traumatic." Or that's and it's just an immediate dismissal by Steve Carell of, look, not everything's trauma, okay? Like it's a very, very different generation. Not going to discuss the feelings and emotions of it. Very great delivery from Steve Carell, but very funny show. If you want to check that one out on Netflix, Corey, I think you saw that one too.
Yeah, I really liked it. Fun time, fun premise. Premise that some have actually had to deal with before. It's three couples that are all very close, and one of them is divorcing the spouse, which forces everybody into camps and changes the dynamic of how they all get together. So that was very fun, but in a mostly comedic, sometimes serious way. Some plot twists along the way that you won't see coming, and it's just a good time.
Yeah. I feel like we don't talk about the dark comedy genre very often, but I would say it falls in that camp of dark comedies. Worth watching on Netflix. Captain America 4 Brave New World on Disney Plus. Very late to the game talking about this one. Had a nice time. Not my favorite Captain America movie. Not my least favorite MCU Marvel movie. But still enjoyed it. Anthony Mackie, Harrison Ford. What's not to like? So a perfectly fine Marvel movie.
Haven't seen it yet. Curious about how well they did Red Hulk.
I think it was good. So not spoiling anything since the trailers gave it away. Harrison Ford plays a recurring character, different. He had not been the actor for the character in the past, and turns into Red Hulk. I think they do a nice job. Again, it's probably my least favorite Cap movie, but I think like the CGI is good. I like the interaction. Some people thought it was pretty anticlimactic, sort of the final battle. That's why I would say like I don't think it was. I wouldn't give it a thumbs down. I just don't think it was the best MCU outing. So, but if you're really into Cap or you really like the MCU, you've probably already seen it. So I'm not telling you anything new. But worth watching, and I enjoy seeing Harrison Ford for as many more roles as he's willing to give us before he calls it. That and Shrinking. Shrinking is really good on Apple TV Plus. It's been a really nice. It was a really nice, fun little sort of like big tent pole franchise type film for him to do.
Yep. Cool.
Ironheart, Disney Plus. Better than Captain America 4. Little Riri Williams, kind of the new Iron Man, but not a reboot, continuation, but a series. Also good, worth watching. If you're super into the MCU, you probably have already. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. A little bit better than average, and a really nice show. I don't know if you guys watched that one or have been keeping up on the Disney Plus stuff.
Lily's excited to watch it, but we haven't. I don't think she's even started it yet. I could be wrong, but yeah, it looked good. Love the trailer. Love that they brought in some characters from the MCU to help enrich it.
Yeah, it's got a really good cast, and the thing that I appreciate about it is like the character is clearly trying to emulate Tony Stark and Iron Man, and has her own sort of like she's a kid in college, so she's sort of got her own ego about her, but there's still a bit of reverence towards Tony. It's not like, oh, I can just do everything Tony did but better. Like there's clearly respect there, which feels like an acknowledgement of RDJ playing this role and people really falling in love with the character. So it acknowledges that. It doesn't try to blow past it, but she's clearly still like kind of a high confidence kid who thinks she can do more than maybe she can, at least to start. So yeah, I think it was really fun. Totally different tone than some of the things so far. Perfect Days on Hulu. Corey, you've seen this one. So good. And we had a long text conversation a while back where we were talking about like debriefing from the movie after we had both seen it. And the premise, a gentleman works for, it's in Japan, right? It's been a minute since I don't even remember if South Korea, Japan. I think it's Japan. A guy basically works for what's probably the equivalent of like city government cleaning toilets around Tokyo. And
in like parks and stuff.
Parks and stuff. Yeah, yeah. And very minimal lifestyle. Few characters from his past interact with him throughout the thing. But he seems to be very contented in his lot in life. And it's the end. People read the ending a little bit differently depending on, if you go into forums. But I thought it was a great movie. I read the ending as a sweet ending. And seriously, one of the more cultured but still light movies that I've probably talked about. Like this, it's a really high quality indie film type movie, but it's not heavy. It's not dark. If you're in a world where you don't want to see something that's super drama and heavy to watch, really, really good.
I can't say enough about this movie. It's one of my favorite movies in the last couple years. The lead actor is stellar. Very little dialogue, very excellent cinematography. I feel like this is one of those movies that people would a certain group of my friend base would make fun of me for liking. And then another half would be like, totally get it. Yes. And it's probably my art school friends. So like, do yourself a favor and give yourself the treat that is this movie. It's feel good. It's almost like it's what what's the sound thing that people are into? ASMR. It's what ASMR is but a visual audio cinematic version of it. It's just a feel good. I feel like it lowers your anxiety. It's such a good movie.
It's very slice of life, a chunk in time. And yeah, ASMR, but in movie form is probably a good way to say it. So go in with low expectations in the sense that this isn't one of those like the movie wasn't fast enough, it didn't get to action quick. That's literally not at all what the movie's about. Like you're going in because you want mellow but really well done. And I agree, it's probably one of the best movies I've watched of anything in the last handful of years. Like I really, really loved it. And so if anybody that's listening tends to like what I like, even though I jump around, this is the one thing where I say I loved it and you should watch it. And you're like, okay, seriously, I need to go watch this one this time.
Yeah.
It was.
Did you guys, because like, I didn't know anything, had never heard about this one. And so like I've been looking at it and kind of reading about it while I've been listening to you. And I guess my question to you is this, like, did both of you just kind of like randomly land on it when you saw it on Hulu, or did you hear about it? Or
I heard it from Bobby months ago. Then Dylan was like, if you haven't seen Perfect Days on Hulu, you have to watch it. And I was like, it's on my Bobby recommended list.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dylan, how'd you hear about it?
A little bit of the online scuttlebutt in like movie forums. Like I tend to just kind of pay attention, and it's less so about the like this was a great movie, but then the comment section underneath where you're like figuring out why. And when people were talking about like the sort of lighter nature of the movie but how well it's done still, I was like, that feels like a good movie right now at this stage. Like I don't, to counter that, the next one was that I'm going to talk about is kind of heavy, but it's nice to like rotate in indie stuff with blockbusters and light and some heavy dramatic. And so I was kind of intrigued by how people were talking about it in some of the forums. And so I'm like, I got to watch this. And then as soon as somebody said it's on Hulu in the US, I went, great. I got Hulu. I'm going to make time. And so, then we separately, we sort of had it on our lists and then synced up via text and started talking about it.
Cool.
Thanks for chiming in though, Kendall, because what I don't want to do is just read off of a list and do quick reviews. I love
No, it's fine because this one, it looks interesting but everything about it like it has all of the visual and readability that you would expect an indie film to have. And it was just interesting to me that like both of you stumbled upon it and it was that good. Like that's what rose the question in my mind. Like,
Yeah. It's one that I will remember. Like not
Mhm.
just the shots. It sticks with you, but almost in like a you heard a really good nugget of wisdom sort of way. It's like, yeah, that movie made me feel this. And there's almost multiple takeaways from it. Like if I could live a little bit like he lives in this movie, I will be better for it. Yeah, just really, really good.
Yeah, it was great. So that's one of the highest recommended movies I probably will have talked about on the podcast because as much as the Star Wars and Marvel stuff is fun, those are fun, and I have never claimed they're cinematic masterpieces. And I probably wouldn't use that term for this, but it's so freaking great that it's like one of the best things I've seen recently. So check it out. On the flip end of feeling light, airy, and happy, we have The
Oof.
Whale on The Whale on HBO Max. Also, certainly not for the kids. It's on HBO, so take that, for what you will. I honestly really just watched it because Brendan Fraser, he sort of disappeared for a while and then he came back and got accolades for this movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say he won a bunch of stuff, right?
He did. I totally get why. It is a very heavy movie, so know that going in.
Heavy movie.
Yeah, it wasn't even pun intended, but yeah, here we are. So but it was really good and he did an excellent job. The cast was all really good. So if you want something a little heavier, maybe watch that, then Perfect Days to rebound.
Yeah.
You'll feel a lot better by the end.
Well, that one also stuck with me.
Yeah. Did you watch The Whale?
I did. I think we actually talked about it briefly on here
Maybe.
after he won the award for that performance. But I quickly touched on it because of how heavy it is. Again, no puns intended. But yeah, just like absolutely believe that there are people who are relegated to that type of a lifestyle and who live that way and are very lonely like that. And because his performance and portrayal of that lifestyle is so good, it breaks your heart for not just his character, but anybody who's lonely like that and just also sticks with you. And then him trying to, mend his relationships. Just oof. Yeah, tough one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So if you're into that, check it out. It was definitely good. Joyride. This is one of those, sometimes much like Brendan Fraser, an actor catches your attention. In this case, it was Olivia Colman. So anytime I'm scrolling and I see her in something, I kind of like stop and linger and make sure to watch a trailer and see. And Joyride was really cute. It's basically Olivia Colman just had a baby. He's going to give it up for adoption. Little boy has a thing going on with his dad, runs away, steals a car. Mom and baby are in the car. Now they're stuck on this ride together. And the story progresses from there. So a very, very, very nice movie. Olivia Colman's great. The little boy actor who plays the little boy does a really nice job. It's a sweet movie. Sometimes I just like those movies that are like set in the UK. Something about the look and feel and the quality of the actors and set designs and costumes and everything always just feels like a little bit nicer quality than some of the stuff we watch here. And so really well done if you want to check that out.
For those that don't know actor names, she is the middle-aged queen in the series The Crown. So she plays Queen Elizabeth in the middle years of her life.
Good point of reference because lots of people have seen The Crown. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you threw that one in there.
Yeah.
Still up on Apple TV Plus, a really sweet series. I think it only had 1 or 2 seasons or something, and it was canceled. Real bummer. And so I bring this one up more. I know we've kind of talked about it before, but it just really grinds my gears. Sometimes you find these shows that are like, oh my gosh, that was so great. What a sweet premise. And then it gets canceled and you're like, what? We talked about how it makes you want to like wait till multiple seasons
Yes.
are out of something.
Absolutely.
get
It doesn't meet my criteria, buddy. I wouldn't start it now.
So that's why I brought it up. So if you're one of those people that gets very frustrated about things feeling like it ended too soon, don't watch it. If you are okay with it, watch it because it is really good. And I can't believe it didn't get another season. It was such a sweet show. So I'm glad I watched it, but I'm really bummed that there's not more of it. And I was kind of hoping another streaming app or something would pick it up and make more episodes of it because it was really good. So if you're willing to take the risk, still up on Apple TV Plus is short and sweet. So you can check it out. Do we want to take a break? Because I know there's still more stuff that we're talking about. Do we want to take a quick pause here?
Yeah, let's take a quick pause, hear from some of our dear friends in Odd Pods Media, and we'll be right back with the other 2/3 of Dylan's list.
Hey there, I'm Dave, the host of Beer in Front. Sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. I'll talk about some old school beers that maybe you've forgotten about, some new beers that have the potential to be a classic. I'll also talk to various people around the beer world and get their stories all about beer. That's Beer in Front, and it's available on all of your favorite podcast apps.
If you like fun, then you're going to love the Beard Al podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And frankly, we talk more about Weird Al than anything because he's the gift that keeps on giving. So join us as we talk through Weird Al's career, what he means to us, and we have some very special guests on to discuss the magic that is Alfred Matthew Yankovic. Beard Al, part of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Even after the ad, I'm still angry that Still Up got canceled. So back into the list. That's a great show, by the way, or shows, plural, that just played. You should definitely check those out. Go download all their episodes. Okay, continuing on, speaking of Apple TV Plus, this is something that predates Apple TV Plus, but has since found a home on Apple TV Plus, and I've talked about it many times. And it's a series that I often recommend, a part of a set of series that I often recommend. Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman go on, have a docuseries or set a docuseries. It's a travelogue on motorcycles. And they go long way around, long way down, long way up. And then this most recent long way home on Apple TV Plus. And while I will say this feels like potentially the weakest of the four series, it's sort of like the worst Pixar movie is still better than a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And the worst Long Way series is still very enjoyable. And I had been waiting for this for a long time, and I was so glad it came on, and Bree and I binged it right away. And the guys are just so lovable. And this time they make their way sort of up into Scandinavia, down into Central Europe, and back to the UK. And always a great series. If you've never watched them, you don't particularly have to be into motorcycles or the two guys, or travel, any one of those things on their own. But if you generally enjoy travel or docuseries, things like that, definitely check out the 4 different Long Way series on Apple TV Plus. Corey, I know you watched this one as well.
Yeah, I haven't finished. I think I'm just over halfway through. I'm watching with a neighbor, so he comes over and we watch together. I was really excited when I saw that Ewan was going to be riding an old Moto Guzzi, because I know those are his favorite bikes, sort of 70s Moto Guzzis. Also, when I saw that, I thought, well, they better be staying close to home because the bike maintenance might be higher than it has in previous episodes. And as me and my buddy were watching it, I started thinking, I wonder if some of this, because it feels like like one part, I think when they're going to Scandinavia, they are like on a boat. They put the bikes on a boat, and they show a map, like with the Indiana Jones moving red arrow showing you where they're going. And they went like really far and there's no footage. I'm like, wow. They either lost footage or no one wants to see them just sit on a boat, or the guys are at an age where they don't have the endurance to do long haul rides like they once did. When did the first one come out? Like
2001, I think.
Yeah, so 24 years ago. And so I think it's probably, like you said, it's probably a mixture of all those things. Like, hey, we're getting older. We want to stay close to home. We don't want to camp, on a rock, in a tent with a sleeping bag anymore. So I feel like they probably have a little cushier experience. Again, I haven't watched all of it, but it's still really good, and I love the jokes and their banter. I love how sweet Ewan is. Like I just want to hang out with that guy. Um, yeah, really fun, really enjoying it. Love the vintage bikes, and yeah,
Great series. I'll fact check myself. Long Way Round was 2004.
okay.
Presumably filming in 2002, 2003. So they've been doing these four series across over 20 years. They've been riding motorcycles literally across countries together, which is really cool.
So fun.
So we don't talk about trash TV very often. And I feel like the next one would fall into the trash TV category. If you've seen on Netflix, there was a documentary called Trainwreck Poop Cruise. And not a well done documentary in any way, shape, or form. It feels like something that would have been on very early, like MTV or VH1, like Pimp My Ride quality type documentary. But if you wanted a refresher on, I think, the 2014 or 2016 or whatever cruise that literally was a poop cruise, it's a quick watch and you get caught up again real fast on that news story. So if you're into trash TV and real life drama that's not your own, check that one out. Wouldn't recommend overall, but some people have the time. So feel free to check.
What a review. Would not recommend overall, but some people have the time.
It just it feels so weird to talk about that in the same conversation as something like Perfect Days, where you're going on about how nicely done a movie is.
Perfect Days, The Whale, Poop Cruise.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's kind of like your palate, like like you appreciate fine dining, and we still love Taco Bell. Like,
okay.
It also feels like when a place will review movies or games and everything ranks between a 6 and an 8, then the ratings become not meaningful. If I say watch everything, then nothing is worth watching. So if I'm telling you to skip something, it's that.
Well, hold on. So Kendall, I don't know what your take on this will be, but I think at least the times Dylan has reviewed something that I haven't seen, I end up watching the movie or show and end up giggling because his review was so spot on in so few words. He has this ability to like get right to the, like when he described one of the Transformers movies as, you know, Michael Bay, it's like he threw a lot of tools in a dryer and turned it on. Lots of sound and metal clanging, and I was like, that's so perfect. So I think what we need Dylan to do is become a serious reviewer on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb, because people would benefit greatly from his concise but accurate reviews.
Maybe there's a new segment for YouTube that are basically reels, me reviewing movies in as few words as possible. And it's just reels for social.
Dude, that's From the Middle reviews.
Yeah.
With Dylan. That's so perfect.
Yeah, maybe that needs to be a thing. People need to chime in on our socials or text or call our number, leave us a voicemail. If that's a thing you would think would be entertaining, really short form reviews from us on media, old and new.
And I know I threw to Kendall, but Dylan took it. If you're not on YouTube, the reason is Kendall's having some lag, some Wi-Fi experience, and Dylan is thoughtfully trying to play that off by jumping in, and I'm just calling it out.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I just wanted to keep talking because I love the sound of my own voice. So I can jump back in. I only have a few more things, and
I think Kendall's back. You back with us, Kendall?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha. And you're moving. You're not lagging anymore.
I'm moving better. I'm lagging less. It's still a little funky, but
okay.
Yeah. I recommend.
No, I agree. Dylan is a wonderful, wonderful movie and TV reviewer, and you're right, Corey. He has a knack for like getting like straight to the point and then putting things in some kind of metaphorical way that is just always spot on. He's very quick. I would press that button if we were in in studio right now. But we're not. So I'll just praise him anyway for it. But no, you're right. He also, I don't know if there's ever been something that he has ever just flat out said, this isn't for anybody. Or
that is true.
He'll say, he's even slow to say that he didn't like something.
True.
Which is fair. I mean, I tend to like most things. If I'm honest, like if I watch a movie and I sit there through it and watch it and it's done, I'm probably like, yeah, no, I don't regret that I did that. There's only been one movie that I ever walked out on, and that was Grumpier Old Men. I know I've mentioned that to you guys before, and that was the reaction that I got.
Okay.
But
that's true. He does. His bar is usually, was I entertained for the 90 minutes?
Yeah.
If so, then it was fine enough. Otherwise, I would have turned it off. And I think I could probably, Dylan, you could probably count on one hand the amount of things you've turned off in your life.
Yeah, that's true. Also, very nice comments. I remember it is as almost as flattering as one person reviewing our podcast early on who said they're not idiots. And they meant it to go on to say they're not idiots. They're actually having like a great conversation, But we just quoted them as they're not idiots and pushed that out on social media as our favorite review. That's very kind of you to say. I think this is a good episode to talk about this, since I'm talking about so many things that I've watched. It's also important for people to know, because I'm not a critic, I don't turn on things that I think I wouldn't like.
Right.
So most of the things I wouldn't rate poorly because I've probably already watched the trailer and read the description and synopsis and looked at the actors and said, yeah, that's probably in my wheelhouse. So if there's been a few things that I don't like, I typically don't even talk about them on the podcast, because I'm not going to come on here just to trash stuff, because that's not the kind of show that we have.
Which reveals even more about your nature.
But maybe it should be. Yeah.
Look, I just gave you Poop Cruise. All right. I said I wouldn't even tell anyone to watch it because it's poorly made. But if you like trash TV and drama that's not your own.
See, you're still qualifying it, man. And you didn't say that you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, because if I'm being honest, I like a little trash TV every now and then. So
who doesn't?
It's kind of like that really greasy spoon late night fourth meal, 3,000 calories at 11:30 at night at Taco Bell, and you're like, I know this is bad for me, but I kind of like it. So I did kind of like it a little bit. If I'm being
listen, I've gone through stints even in recent years where I have watched a little Steve Wilkos, a little Judge Judy, that kind of thing. I mean, listen, if it wasn't for the fact that I would need 3 different streaming platforms, well, and one of them being one of the cable-ish expensive ones, in order to like keep tabs on all things WWE, I would still be watching WWE. So there is that.
I get it. All right, I'm almost done. I promise. For anyone who's like, this has gone on too long. I don't really need to comment on the quality because it's well known. We did just rewatch all the Downton Abbey series and the first 2 movies, because the final movie's coming out in September. Bree and I are going to go see it and are very excited. If you've never watched it, you've missed out. That's all I'll say. You need to go.
I watched the series because of you, Dylan, and I loved it. And it was one where like I was disappointed when I knew that I was watching the final. Now they wrapped it up nicely. It was fine, but so it didn't piss me off. I was just like, I want there to be more.
So good.
After we're done recording this episode, I'm going to walk out into the living room with Lily and Sherry to watch the second to last movie, or the last one that's
the most recent.
Yeah, the most recent one. That's how you say that. Words are fun. Cool.
Yeah. Good. Well, we can all talk about the final Downton Abbey movie next month.
Yeah, it's like 3 middle-class moms, I feel like, with Downton Abbey. That was my opinion of it. Even as I was watching it, I was like, I'm more ashamed of this than I am of WWE with how much I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. Well,
this nonsense.
I remember selling it to Dylan early on because he hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
The series. And I was like, you won't think it's possible for you to care so much about like a kitchen situation that makes dinner late.
Yeah.
And the impact that has on the wait staff.
Yeah. So if you're a dude, give it a shot if you haven't, like Dylan said, and like Corey has recommended as well. And I mean, I don't care. Listen, I fish, I shoot guns, I lift weights every morning. I have enough toxic tea in me to justify that a man can watch Downton Abbey.
That's awesome.
You should do it.
Fantastic. Well, on the Toxic Tea comment, Freakier Friday was a nice follow-up sequel to the original Freaky Friday. It was nice. It was a perfectly nice sequel. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. Not probably so much for me. I'm not probably the target audience, but a perfectly fine sequel if you like the first one. And then I'll end on something that I really, really enjoyed and is right back in my wheelhouse. The new Fantastic Four movie was great. I was so excited for a big Marvel production back in theaters again. I've missed several of the last Marvel movies and catch them on, Disney Plus later. So good. All the cast was really good. Galactus is the bad guy. Big Bad was great. Really, really fun. Can't wait to see him in more movies as the Fantastic Four. So, bravo.
I love I haven't seen it. I love the style of it. The throwback 60s, 50s, 60s kind of vibe, like
retro futuristic.
Yeah.
Kind of like, yeah, it's so good. The costumes, the set design, the background music in it, it's very, very good. I'm not saying it's the best Marvel movie, but it's definitely up there, and I loved it.
Awesome. Well, let's make a Kendall sandwich. People don't want to hear two Hubbles back to back, so Kendall, over to you.
So I didn't do a whole lot of watching again. Still, it was kind of a busy-ish summer.
You've been fishing and shooting guns.
Well, and reading books. And I mean, I have been doing a lot of sitting around doing nothing. But books have filled a lot of that gap. And then just watching whatever kind of on TV. But we did in theaters over the summer with the kids watch the Lilo and Stitch film, which we all enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I remembered and I often don't remember movies. I feel like this one was so close to the original in a lot of ways that it was fun to answer the question in your head. What would this look like live action? And there it was. It was great. I thought it was well done. It's a good story. We also saw the Minecraft movie, which we've talked about before.
Okay. How far after the hype of the Minecraft movie?
I feel like the hype had come and gone. So okay. It was a quiet, normal theater.
Okay. So nobody did Chicken Jockey and Through Pop and
there was nothing like that. Now we were sitting like in the literal back row of the theater. So I don't know if maybe we missed out or didn't hear a bunch of that. But it seemed I was ready for it. I was prepared for it. And I had I'm not going to be grumpy face on and we're going to have fun. And it was fine. Didn't need it. And then at the tail end of the last school year, one of the boys was learning a lot about outer space. And we were talking about Apollo 13. And so we went back and watched Apollo 13 with our family, which was a fun little revisit.
Wow.
To that movie. And watching it, I'm thinking to myself, man, I really think this is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is so cool. So loved Apollo 13.
Nice.
Amy and I saw the first Megan film when it came out, not knowing what it was, and really enjoyed it, and the campy kind of horror thing that it was meant to be, and it was beautifully crafted. And Megan 2.0 was every bit as refreshing.
All right.
As Megan. It literally it's what you want a campy horror film to be. You want moments of dark comedy in there, and they totally did a lot of throwback and nods to the first film with some weird dancing and things like that with Megan. It was honestly hilarious. One of the funniest movies that I've seen in a while.
I know
is
you
Megan
like your
2.0.
campy, schlocky horror stuff, so I'm glad
I do.
got your fix.
I really do. Megan 2 was great. And then I don't know how this happened, but my oldest, who's now 11, Isaac he came across on TV. So we have a digital antenna, right? That's our primary way of watching TV. And he was flipping through channels and came across the Andy Griffith Show. And he fell in love with the Andy Griffith Show.
That's awesome.
And so it's on Me TV, which is just one click up from channel 10. So like after Wheel of Fortune is over, because Amy and I are 90, we click up one so that we can be 106 and watch the Andy Griffith Show for Isaac's sake, who's sitting there in the room with us. And now, like as a family, very often we find ourselves watching the Andy Griffith Show at night right before bedtime. It's become this fun little thing. I've gotten back into it. And then he has like since found another channel too that has called Grit, which has like old Westerns in it, right? So like Bonanza is on there and The Rifleman is on there.
Yeah.
And like he really likes The Rifleman. And I think that's one of his favorites as well. And so sometimes if he's not on YouTube, often because I tell him stop watching YouTube, he goes straight to Grit or Mean TV and watches old TV shows. So that is
so funny.
Yeah.
I just imagine you in a clawfoot chair reading a paper and smoking a pipe while your son watches the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you still get with your suspenders, because you still read a paper, which I love.
Well, I don't still read the paper,
okay. But you are a fan.
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
That's awesome.
So,
I've often wondered if there are going to be like cinephiles when I was in art school would like go back and like watch like Stanley Kubrick movies and stuff like that. Like, what is the equivalent for Gen Z and Gen Alpha? Like, what are they going to go back and watch? And some will start to do it ironically, but then it will actually stick with them and they'll actually fall in love with it. Like, I wonder what some of those things will be. How far back will they go? So I wonder,
is it going to be like Matlock, or is it like the original Matlock, not the new crappy one?
Right.
But or is it going to be like, Dawson's Creek and Seventh Heaven?
But do you think do you think the internet has changed that practice entirely? Like, you went back and watched those movies because you had to go find the VHS, or you had to find it in the basement in a box at your parents' house. Like, literally, you can go on Apple TV and search Jurassic Park or Lord of the Rings, or you can go back and Seven Samurai or Kill Bill, or like literally, you can literally find anything streaming, and either pay for it or watch it. Like, I don't even know if people will have that moment en masse where they like, now collectively as a generation, we're going to go back and watch A Bridge Too Far. And, I don't know.
Probably not en masse, but it's like we've talked about before. When you get into a musician or an artist, you like, who was their mentor, right? So like the Bob Dylan movie just came out with Timothy Chalamet. So like kids who like Timothy Chalamet don't know who Bob Dylan is.
Yeah.
So are they like going back and listening to Bob Dylan, and then they're going to go back and find folk artists that were like his mentors and his heroes? I just discovered, she's not that much younger than me, but I just discovered an artist on Instagram who just discovered Drew Struzan, who's the illustrator that did the Harry Potter and Indiana Jones and Star Wars posters. And she's like freaking out over Drew Struzan in a day where movie posters are done almost purely digitally now, like that somebody actually hand painted the Harry Potter, Romancing the Stone, and all beautiful, like iconic movie covers. And she's talking about him. He's retired now and he doesn't even paint or draw anymore. But like, I wonder what that is going to be. I think maybe as people discover like the heroes of their heroes and keep going back and researching, it might get cool. If we lose power, it's because there's a storm rolling.
I just saw the lightning behind you. Bob Dylan's a good example. I do think that this has been happening all along with music.
Yeah.
Right. There's been individuals who have like gone back and discovered Nirvana, right? Young kids who have discovered Nirvana and Bob Dylan, like you said, because of a film.
Yeah.
Or like both of my boys, their favorite music right now comes from Green Day. So
my son plays 21 Guns every time we go to martial arts.
yeah.
That's awesome.
You feel
So
like the record store employees, it's like the oral historians. They're like, oh, if you like Buddy Holly, you need to go back, and like that was the tradition of where they were learning. And like the really well tenured video store employee, like, let me take you to the back. I'll show you this section of classics. You know, they transferred history over time to the new generation.
You need a guide like that, like somebody who knows. Like that's one of the reasons I loved art school, is because my professors would be like, oh, you think you like Norman Rockwell? That's just because Rockwell was inspired by Leyendecker. You need to go study Leyendecker and N.C. Wyeth and all these other, like, to hear people talk like that about other artists was like so fun. Music, whatever, comedians. It's big in stand-up too. Like one of the reasons I like Bobby Lee so much is he's a historian of comedy. So he'll talk about like guys that not just that he came up with, but guys that like were 20 years before he even started. And he's now like the old guy in the record store telling young comics, oh, that style of comedy started with this guy and nobody knew who he was. And he was, I think that stuff's fun. Anyway, we went off on a tangent there. Well, that's fun. I'm glad your family is enjoying the old timey shows.
Yeah.
We're about at time, so I'll fly through my list. If you like John Wick, do yourself a favor and watch Bob Odenkirk on Prime Video in a movie called Nobody. Nobody 2 is coming out soon, so you'll want to watch Nobody. It's like really fun. It's just a guy who just gets fed up and he starts kicking butt. Stick on Apple TV Plus was a really enjoyable show for Sherry and I to watch together. She likes sports a lot more than I do. We've talked about this before. It's a joke on the show. It's a golf show, and it features Owen Wilson, and Mark Maron is his caddy and best friend. And Mark Maron honestly makes the show for me and Sherry both. Like, it was so cool seeing him. I kept telling her, babe, that's the guy I met at the Comedy Store. She's like, I know, you said it on the last episode. So Mark Maron, Owen Wilson. I will say, I've got a dear friend who's a big golf fan, a little older than me. He's like, I couldn't get into it. I said, why? He said, the main kid. It's a what do you call like a prodigy? He's like a prodigy golfer. The actor that plays him, he's supposed to be annoying. You're supposed to be annoyed by him. He's supposed to be bratty, but it's sometimes difficult to watch because he does it so well. So I will just say, like, he doesn't listen. He just does his own thing, but that's part of the point.
Quick question on that one, though.
Yeah.
Somebody described Stick to me as it's almost like Ted Lasso, but for American golf. In like the feel of like funny, good characters, lighthearted, inspirational.
A little. I would say it doesn't achieve the same level of sweet, endearing, wholesome. I mean, not wholesome because they swear a ton, but Ted himself. Owen is not Ted in the show, but I get why they're saying that. It's close.
Okay.
It's very fun. Jurassic World Rebirth in theaters was a lot of fun for me, but I know some Jurassic Park heads who were like, please stop making these movies. It's trash. So I don't know. I'll use Dylan's bar, and I was entertained. It was a good time. The whole family enjoyed it. You guys
no one's going to force them to watch Rebirth Part 2. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't have to go see it. It's fine. Rebirth.
Yes. One that you guys know I was so looking forward to, F1 the movie. I've been watching Formula One now, every single race for the last 4 or 5 years. The actual season, the 24 race season, I watched the pre-race for an hour and a half. I watched the whole race. I love it. So I was like, there's a movie and Brad Pitt's in it. And I was so excited to see, not coming in critical, but like how close to what I have come to understand about Formula One do they get? I was very entertained. It's clear that they did their homework. They respected the sport. There are little like nods to little niche things that, oh, like when it's a hot race, they'll wear these cooling vests before the drivers get into the car to keep their core body temperature down. Like details and crisp, and it's Jerry Bruckheimer, and they did a great job. And there's like two major plot points in the movie that were like huge misses that I didn't want to be that guy, but I was like, that would never happen. But it made for a better story, so I get why they did it. But it was like, oh man, I can hear the diehard Formula One fans right now going, that would have never actually happened based on the rules of the sport. It was just kind of a weird couple things, and if you've seen it and care about F1 at all, you'll know what I'm saying. It's like a flag situation if you follow flags in NASCAR, and if there's damage on the track, they don't let the other cars drive, but it's like that would have never, like the key pivotal climax of the movie moment never would have happened. Anyway, it's fine. It was still good. White Lotus, all seasons on HBO Max. Speaking of three middle-class ladies, this show is more popular with the ladies. It's a little adult at times, but oh my gosh, the storytelling is so fun, and it's like definitely dry comedy, a genre we say doesn't come up much. I'm gonna look up right now the director producer of it, because you've seen him in School of Rock. He's the roommate to Jack Black. White Lotus, kind of the Weasley guy. He's an actor as well, director. White Lotus director, not direction. White, something White. Mike White. So fun. Each season of the show begins with a murder. The White Lotus is the hotel chain, and each season begins with a murder, and you don't know who the murdered person is. And then the whole season you're trying to figure out who's going to be murdered and who done it. But in a dry comedy sort of way. Season 1 is Hawaii. Season 2 is Italy, the Italian coast. And then season 3 is the Philippines, the Southeast Asia somewhere. So the White Lotus is this luxurious hotel, and it's kind of commentary on social class, and there's multiple stories going on at once. Some people say that the show has become too formulaic, and that seasons 2 and 3 just copy exactly what season 1 did. But the show blew up, so that's not a bad thing to do.
There you go. Yeah.
If you're the director. Happy Gilmore 2, Netflix. Watched that with Sherry. I loved Happy Gilmore as a kid. Watched it over and over and over. It is chock full of ridiculous cameos that don't make sense and don't need to, because it's just a fun time. It's over the top. It's extra wackadoo. It's a little excessive, but it includes all your favorite Happy Gilmore things. I love that they did it. And then the last one, this is my guilty pleasure one. Kids got me into it. I cannot stop singing the songs. It's all over my algorithm. K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix. It's an animated show by Sony Animation. You guys know how much I love what they've been doing over the last couple years. As a diehard Pixar fan, where the last couple Pixar films have been letting me down, Sony Pictures has been upping their game, and I'm becoming more and more of a Sony Animation fan. What they did with Miles Morales, with the Spider-Verse movies, like, I'm a really big fan, and this was such a fun K-pop girls in a band that fight demons. Such an interesting and fun premise. Before you go thinking that this is too dark and scary, perhaps for some of your older children, the demons are like really silly looking. It's not dark, demonic, scary. The demons are like silly. They look like, in Far East cultures where they have like a big parade and the the head of the dragon has a bunch of people in it, and the head is really ornate with big silly eyes and a tongue sticking out. That's kind of what the demons look like. They're not like dark, evil, demonic demons. So it's very fun. The animation style is fun. The comedy is great. The timing, it's a really good time. And oh, by the way, the songs are taking the world by storm. It's like blowing up. It's like a whole thing. So K-pop Demon Hunters, really fun. There's even in my there's a reel I saw recently, and it's a mom vacuuming, and the caption says, "First time seeing K-pop Demon Hunters," and she's like scoffing. She's making like a judgmental face at the TV, and then it says, "Second time seeing K-pop Demon Hunters," and she's engaging with her children who are off camera watching it, and she's saying something like, "So this is Korean?" And then it says, "Third time watching K-pop Demon Hunters," and she's starting to like move her shoulders. And then it says, "10th time watching K-pop Demon Hunters," and she's standing on the ottoman with a sword, like singing all the songs at the top of her lungs and doing the motions. So that is very much the vibe of parents who are like accidentally watching K-pop Demon Hunters. It's very fun. So
it's not just you. It's not just you. You've got, I know you also hunt and
Yeah.
Despite K-pop Demon Hunters, White Lotus, and Gilmore Girls, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's not just Corey. There's literally dozens of them.
Yeah.
Watching dozens.
So,
no, I appreciate it.
I'm also reading some books, and I'm also doing projects around my house now that I'm self-employed. And I don't feel the need to sit at my desk from 9 to 5 taking trainings that have nothing to do with my role or answering emails.
Yeah. Do you make yourself take quizzes that it doesn't matter if you know the answers to, because you can try it a number of times?
Exactly.
Do you make yourself do that?
Yeah. Asking for a friend. So that's what I've been up to. And that brings us to an hour and 10.
Word up.
Well, that was a ton of fun. I'm so glad we got to jump back into a digital one. People, if you didn't like hearing what we were watching, we don't normally dump this many shows and movies on y'all at once, but here we are after a nice long sabbatical. So hopefully, if nothing else, you'll go watch Perfect Days. And I think that one's a great one for anybody. And this has been a ton of fun. Please check out our friends over at Artiusman, ARTIUSMAN.com. They make tons of awesome products. Men's skincare, some shower stuff, oils. Go check it out. Use promo code The Middle. You'll save 25% off your first order. It helps us. You're going to get awesome stuff. It helps them. They're a local Columbus, Ohio area business. If you've heard us talk about RDS Man before and you've never gone, seriously, right after this is over, go to rdsman.com and at least check out some of the stuff that they have on the website, because you probably know people who would enjoy the products, and you're going to end up needing gifts for somebody at some point eventually. So use the promo code and save 25% when you do it.
Big announcement, by the way, just dropped yesterday. Artius Man now officially brand ambassadored by Columbus Crew's Jonathan Mensah, star player for the crew, is now officially repping Artius Man. There's a really sweet ad with him wearing the shirt, using some of the products. So that's a big announcement. I'm really excited for our boy and Artius Man. Jeff, you're killing it. Way to bring on some credibility with Jonathan, and that's awesome.
Super cool. So check them out. Thank you for listening. We're so glad to be back. We appreciate you all for hanging in there. If you missed 299.5 and don't know why we were gone, check it out. Check out 300. Thank you. Check you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.